Hello, everybody. It is I, IAmTheLionRider, and today we are going to be going over a few of the little bits of news that have happened over the last 2 days. Basically, just related to the animal showcases that we've seen. So, if you saw my last video, we went over the Dole, which, like I said in that video, is looking very, very gorgeous. I think this is probably one of my favorite new canines that are in the game, so I really enjoyed the Dole. But today, we're actually going to be taking a look at the animals that were revealed yesterday on the 21st, and the one that was revealed today, which is on the 22nd. So, first off, we have the sun bear. So, if anyone isn't aware, a sun bear is also known as a honey bear, and it lives in Southeast Asia, and it is probably the weirdest type of bear imaginable. It'll walk like a human, it climbs trees, it has this disgustingly long tongue, and its eyes are weird, and it's weird. It is the weirdest bear of all, and we've already seen some of the new custom animations in the trailer and stuff kind of revealed that it is going to behave very weird like a sun bear should, and I think this little teaser image we got from the animal showcase kind of highlights, yep, this is definitely just as weird as it seems. It's kind of a very weird angle it was taken at. The pupils are in two different sizes. You have this little pupil on the left and a really big wide pupil on the right. Its tongue is sticking out and it's licking the top of its nose. It's standing up on its hind legs. It's a weird bear. It's a very, very weird but good looking bear. So I even commented, I'm like, they're so weird, I love them, because it is true. Sun bears are easily one of my favorite types of bears, just because they're just so uncanny. They make no sense. They're nothing like what people think of when they think of a bear. They're like weird gorilla bear looking dog hybrids, because they're also tiny, which is another weird aspect of them. But I actually really, really love everything about the sun bear. I think it's probably going to be one of my favorite animals in the game from now on. It's so weird. It's so weird looking. But another animal that was revealed today is, it's been a bit more controversial, and that is the Malayan or Malaysian tapir. So this is the first look at the Malaysian tapir. So we saw a little glimpse of it in the announcement video, and we saw basically the bottom half. Now, this is where a lot of people are kind of getting a bit judgmental about what this animal looks like. Because while it does vaguely look like a Malayan tapir, it also looks very, very clone-like. So, based on the Beard's tapir that we've seen in the game for the past, year and some months or whatever, we had the Beard's tapir in the game, which is a type of South American tapir. So the Malaysian tapir is the only Asian species of extant species of tapir, and it's basically known for its just black and white coloring. Which, right off the bat, I want to address the coloring, because I know that's a point of contention with a lot of people. And this could just be the lighting. However, a lot of people are a bit upset that they didn't go with the dark, dark black and light, light white of the actual tapir. So I have pulled up a few images for reference. So if we take a look at what a Malayan tapir really looks like, you can see a lot of big characteristics that aren't really prominent in the Planet Zoo official animal version of this creature. So the big thing is Malayan tapirs are massive relative to any of their South American counterparts. So they have this large, large body and usually a much more protruding hump relative to any of the other South American species of tapir. So if you look, they are very, very large. And unfortunately, the one that we see here is just kind of basically the same size as what we've seen before. And so that's kind of a bit of a letdown. Well, we have to see it relative compared to the Beard's tapir. It could be larger, but at least proportion-wise, there is no, large hump. And another thing that a lot of people are mentioning is Malayan tapirs have very large noses relative to their face. So you can see their trunks are very, very large, while a Beard's tapir or a Brazilian tapir or something of that nature is a lot less pronounced. And so you can definitely see very, very large protruding trunk in all of these images. Here, it's literally just a skin retexture of the Beard's tapir. And another thing that I want to mention that kind of also heavily insinuates that this is just a skin texture is just if you look on the one on the left-hand side, you can actually see a mole, which I will say Malayan tapirs do have this mole on their face. It's just a lot less pronounced. Like if you look at like most images of a Malayan tapir, it is barely noticeable at all. The big thing is actually the underside of their eye is very, very defined usually, and they seem to just not really define it at all. It's a little bit there, but you know, it's just for the most part, it is a bit of a letdown because I really was hoping that they would do something that would, you know, knock everyone's socks off relative to the few mods that have been made over the years of Malayan tapirs, be it mine. I think we had another creator just create a really good version of the Malayan tapir as a new species. They obviously discontinued that since the reveal. And I think way back in the day, there was another few people that made Malayan tapirs. And unfortunately, I just have to say, like, this is a case where the modders did just as good of a job as Frontier did. For better or for worse, it's basically an identical situation. And we were just hoping that Frontier would just kind of do a little bit more to differentiate this one from the Beard's tapir. Regardless, it is still a good looking tapir. Like it is still identifiable as a Malayan tapir. The babies are, you know, the characteristic black and white. The adults are the black with the white torso and stuff. So everything does check out, but unfortunately, it's maybe not exactly what people were hoping for. So the last thing I want to cover is a thing that I just forgot to mention in my last video when I was going over some of the other forum news that we had. So Shantae actually did post on Friday that this isn't going to be the end-all be-all of no scenery or building pieces, because I know that was a big concern that a lot of people had. Is now that they've introduced this new animal pack of DLC, a lot of people were worried that we would never ever get scenery packs again. And that doesn't appear to be the case. So if you had to, you know, place bets on what it is we would see out of a new type of pack, I think North America still has a strong chance of getting scenery. We really don't have any type of like a rustic architecture or anything of that nature due to the fact that the American animals that we did get were kind of lumped into the New World theme, which, you know, makes all of their props and stuff modern art and classic metal and glass and stuff of that nature. And so we might still get something like log cabin architecture or something like that. So that could be the next pack, maybe in summer. I will say though, if we do get an Africa pack, I do expect that at this point to be another animal pack where I feel like there's a lot more African animals than there is scenery that we would need. So if and when we get an Africa pack, that would likely be another animal pack similar to the Asia one. And then finally, I think the other most likely pack that we've all been anticipating is some form of an aviary, flying, free-form bird pack or something. I believe that would obviously have scenery because it's likely the pack that we would get stuff like mesh chain link wall sets and stuff of that nature. And I'm sure like if you're adding something, a big feature like birds, you would try to include some new scenery to go along with that. But past that, that is all we have for news for the last 2 days. Like I said, I like to split these things up every 1 or 2 days just because I think, you know, if I covered every new animal, it would just be like, look, it's just the animal and that's it. But I hope you guys have been enjoying these videos, and I'll keep, you know, updating you on all of them as they happen. So thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.